As college basketball fans get ready to enjoy the Final Four this weekend, a legal smackdown may be coming for the NCAA this summer.
The U.S. Supreme Court appears to be siding with oral arguments presented this week that contend student athletes should be compensated with unlimited non-cash educational benefits. Joining us this morning, employment attorney Angela Reddock-Wright. Angela, good to see you this morning.
Good morning. Great to see you also.
So tell us what's the legal case behind this?
So this is a long-running case that essentially pits the NCAA against a class of college athletes led by a former running back for West Virginia. And the class of athletes, they filed a lower court case where the lower court sided with the athletes and said, you should be able to benefit, that colleges should be able to provide you incentives to attend their college in order to play the sport for which they are recruiting you. And the NCAA is appealing that, stating, well, we would like to be able to hold the college athletes to our own policies and rules, as opposed to having a court determine what we must do and how we must authorize and oversee the athletes that play at the college level.
So, Angela, opponents will say paying students to play will destroy amateur sports as we know it. What do you think about the timing of these oral arguments during March Madness? Does it really favor the athletes? What do you think?
Well, what better timing? I mean, March Madness and the Final Four, it's a global event. The entire world will have its eyes on these athletes. So this is a great time for these oral arguments and for this issue to come to the forefront. And if we think about it, in this last year, athletes both at the professional and amateur level have really bonded together to come fight against issues of social injustice and issues of equity and pay equity and diversity and inclusion in the sports industry. So now the light shines on them directly, where they're saying, hey, college athletes, they're saying, hey, we should be paid, we should be able to benefit from our talents and from the money that's being made off our likeness, off our images, and off our talents.
Could student athletes lose this case and still be able to capitalize on their own name, their likeness, their image?
Most definitely. Ideally, they would win the case, but if they don't, there's pretty much a consensus, especially among Congress and state legislatures, that the system as it exists now is unfair to athletes. So in California, for example, we've already seen California take steps to pass legislation, which doesn't take effect until 2023, but they passed legislation that says that athletes, college athletes, should be able to benefit from use of their image and their likeness. And I think we're going to see that across the board with other state legislatures and also with the Congress, despite the fact that Democrats and Republicans are often at odds with each other. I think this is a place where they'll find common ground and consensus.
You know, this has been talked about for so long, but it really seems to be gaining some momentum. If these student athletes can get paid for going to a specific college or get paid for their own name, their image, all of that, what do you think the overall impact is going to have?
Well, it's a game changer. I mean, if you think about it, many of the athletes come from very modest backgrounds, and their families sacrifice everything to help them get to this place. So the idea that while they are in college, while they're using their talents, that they can benefit from that could be a game changer for the students and for their families. When we think about Nia Dennis, for example, the UCLA gymnast that has gone viral, just imagine if she could benefit from the millions of social media clicks on her performance or benefit from her blog. That would be a major game changer for her, for other college athletes, for other amateur professionals. And then we have to remember that many of these college athletes, although they would like to, won't make it professionally or won't choose a professional path. So the idea that they could be compensated and benefit while they're in college and set them up for their future is really an awesome thing to think about.
It is. Angela, thank you for being with us this morning. Again, Angela Reddock-Wright is an employment attorney and mediator. For more information, you can follow her on Instagram at Reddock Law.